We're behind the wheel of the Sony Vision S, something that nobody saw coming here at CES. It is a concept car from an electronics company. Now, Sony's not going to start building cars anytime soon. Mostly, this is just a showcase of the safety technologies, the entertainment and connectivity software that they have available for vehicles. They just wanted to get some eyes on it with this very attractive looking concept. Now, around the vehicle, we've got a suite of 33 sensors, including solid-state LiDAR and radar and cameras that are going to create what Sony calls a safety cocoon. And they work together in what's called a sensor fusion, giving the car's computers the best visual representation of everything that's happening around the vehicle. Now, this isn't what you'd call an autonomous car. That's mostly for driver aid technologies, but it doesn't mean that those cameras and LiDAR sensors can't work in something like a level 2 hands-off highway autonomous system, though Sony hasn't actually mentioned anything to that respect either. Now, in the car, we're showcasing Sony's in-car technologies, including a 360 immersive sound system that uses sensors to detect who's in the car and where they're sitting to give you the best possible sound from your audio. And that audio is going to be supplied by this massive array of displays across the dashboard. We've got 5 displays here, including cameras for the rear view mirrors. We've got a rear view camera here and a touch-sensitive area here. It's a lot of displays, and they're basically showcasing their software for music and navigation and whatnot, and it basically showing different ways that the driver can interact with this software to, for example, send things over to the passenger. Now, what about the car that surrounds all of this? It's an electric sedan, it's sleekly designed, and what we know about it is that it basically has electric all-wheel drive, and from what I can tell, about maybe 300 miles of range, but that's not the whole point of this. The electric car is, again, just a showcase. Now, Sony did go out of their way to say that this platform can be adapted to other vehicles, and they are working with about a dozen partners, including Magna, Continental, and Bosch. So, well, maybe we'll see a Sony electric SUV concept somewhere down the road. Be sure to check out the rest of our coverage of CES 2020 for even more debuts of electric cars and autonomous vehicles and surprises like this that you don't see coming. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you don't miss a thing.
Hey everybody, this is Sean O'Kane with The Verge, and I'm standing in front of what is probably the surprise announcement of the Consumer Electronics Show this year, at least in my mind, which is that Sony announced a car. This is the Sony Vision S. That's right. At the end of Sony's press conference the other day, the company just rolled out an electric concept car, talked about it for a few minutes, and then that was it. None of us were really expecting this in any way, and I think the most surprising thing about it is that it actually looks pretty legit. Sony calls it a prototype car, but it really falls between what we traditionally consider to be a concept car and a prototype, meaning that it has things like functional brakes and a dashboard and touchscreens that work, and a whole bunch of other little touches that you typically expect to see on a car that a company is actually going to try and develop and test out on the road. And on the design side, it actually looks pretty competent. It shares a lot of traits with modern electric vehicles like your Teslas or even some stuff from startups like Lucid Motors. That means a lot of really smooth lines and a big sweeping glass roof and lighting that sort of pipes all the way around the front and rear of the vehicle, and of course, door handles that pop out. Probably the most impressive thing inside the car is that the software looks really well polished. The design of it is really clean and it all moves really well. There's really fluid animations, the graphics all look really nice. It's basically everything you would expect from a Sony touchscreen product. Not everybody's going to want a set of touchscreens that span the entire dashboard, but as we head towards a future where automakers put more touchscreens inside their cars, this might be one of the better ways to pull it off with these sections that go across the dashboard that have the ability to display different content for the driver and the passenger so that the driver isn't as distracted by whatever it is the passenger is looking at. There's also a lot of different interface elements here. You can use the touchscreen up on the dashboard. There's this touchpad on the center console, as well as a volume knob. We've got buttons all over the place. It's basically everything you would expect from a screen-based Sony product. And it again sort of speaks to this idea that Sony's really trying to get the point across that this is not just a concept car, this is not just something that's throwing a lot of ideas out there, but this is something that is basically close to a prototype. They wanted to make something that felt like a real car. And sitting inside here and spending a little bit of time with some of the user interface elements, it does really give that feel. Now, why did Sony go and make an electric concept car? Well, the company basically makes a whole bunch of different technologies that it thinks would play well in the automotive space. That could be its camera sensors, which are crucial to things like autonomous driving, to things like 360-degree spatial surround sound that permeates the inside of the cabin. And Sony figured, what better way to advertise that we really want to push into the automotive space than to make a pretty legit looking car on our own. That said, they developed the car in conjunction with an automotive supplier called Magna, so they had a little bit of help in putting this thing together. But as far as Sony is saying, this is a real car that can roll. You wouldn't be able to drive it on roads right now, but they really put the work in to make something that would prove to potential customers in the industry that they're really thinking about what it would take to put their technology in an actual car. Now, that unfortunately means you're probably not going to be able to buy a Sony car anytime soon. Sony says it has no plans to mass produce this or even do a limited run version of this car. And knowing how hard it is and how much money it takes to put a car into production, it's probably for the best that Sony isn't going down that road, as exciting an idea as a Sony car might be.
Sony continues to be a leader in immersive entertainment experiences, and gaming is no exception.
One month ago, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation brand. This spirit of innovation and how Sony used technology to make a generational leap in real-time interactive entertainment continued with each successive platform. We've constantly added and refined features to stay ahead of players' needs. And the hardware was designed to expand as technology advanced. We're fortunate to have an unrivaled lineup of upcoming PS4 exclusives that fans can't wait to play, including Final Fantasy VII Remake, Marvel's Iron Man VR, and The Last of Us Part 2, just some of the titles coming to PS4 in 2020. And it's our mission to embrace the entire creative community, elevating their content on our platform for PlayStation fans. That commitment will carry us through as we embark on the launch of our next generation console, PlayStation 5, coming this holiday. And I'm pleased to share with you today, for the first time, our new logo. We've announced several key features of the PS5 hardware, which has been engineered with customizations that will truly differentiate the platform, including future-proof technology such as ultra-high-speed SSD, 3D audio, Ultra HD Blu-ray, and a brand new controller with haptics and adaptive trigger buttons. There's much more to share about PlayStation 5 in the months ahead, and we look forward to revealing more details, including the content that will showcase the platform and the future of gaming.
Another form of immersive real-time entertainment that Sony has focused on is sports. With the launch of 5G, we see an opportunity to combine 5G's dynamic uplink capability with our real-time encoding and wireless communication technology.
Now, we've been using wireless cameras in sports broadcasting for almost 40 years, if you can believe that. But it's always taken a proprietary antenna systems and a complicated infrastructure that was quite cumbersome to install at each and every instance that we used it. This was not something you did at the last minute. Now, with the introduction of the Sony Xperia 5G millimeter wave camera, the flexibility and the ease of deploying a wireless camera is exciting to us because it involves simply clipping on a 5G wireless pack from Sony onto the back of one of our existing cameras. But some of the most striking effects continue to be in the camera and in its movement and position. And they're actually quite simple. We'll take a look at some of them here. The continued growth of high frame rate cameras really add to the experience where you see a very fluid motion that helps to engage the viewer in the competition field. Then you get to POV cameras. They give you a sense of speed and presence in cameras in places we never thought possible. And flying cameras like the wired Skycam that you see so frequently now in big sporting events, and then drones which have become so popular in the last 5 years. They both give you a sense of motions that we used to only be able to see in big major market films, but we now can afford to do that in sports television.
I believe the next megatrend will be mobility. As vehicles become more connected, autonomous, shared, and electric in the coming years. And to deepen our understanding of cars in terms of their design and technologies, we gave a shape to our vision. This prototype embodies our contribution to the future of mobility and contains a variety of Sony's technologies. One of our new offerings for in-car entertainment is 360 reality audio, for you to truly enjoy an immersive audio experience. It also comes with an intuitive human math interface with a wide screen that displays various driving information and entertainment content. The vehicle seamlessly integrates with the cloud and continually update its capabilities through always-on connectivity. And this prototype is built on a newly designed EV platform, allowing for future applications. The creation of this prototype would not have been possible without the knowledge and the cooperation of our partners in the automotive industry. We will continue to pursue the Vision S initiative, focusing on safety, entertainment, and adaptability. We are committed to making a meaningful contribution to society, and we are excited about the road ahead of us.